Okay, so with all the zaniness going around the IWC the past couple of days regarding Dave Meltzer's report that 1,500 people walked out during Charlotte and Alexa's promo during Monday Night Raw on Monday, I figured we would look at this a little bit more objectively and take a look at the actual evidence and see if this report that he was told is accurate and correct. Now, first of all, for context, let's take a look at the report here that I'm gathering this from Ringside News, but it was also stated on Wrestling Observer Radio with Brian Alvarez. But anywho, so the exact quote says, "So they had about 8,000 people in the building, and people were leaving in droves during this segment. I heard 1,500 people left. And it's not like they left and went to the bathroom and came back. They left and went home at 10 o'clock. People were going home at 10 o'clock, and I had never heard that they did that during Raw, and there was this segment." After he made this report, Kaufman actually went on Twitter and fired back a couple of tweets, one of which has since been deleted. But for the sake of clarity, we'll go ahead and go over all that. So she leaves this initial tweet. "You mean the same people that were chanting and reacting to the whole segment? Haha, yeah, get out of here, dirt sheets. LOL. Find clickbait somewhere else." She deletes that and then follows up with another tweet actually referencing the Ringside News article. And she says, "Sorry, Meltzer," or whatever, "you can't get clout off of our segment. Move on. Hashtag stop lying. Hashtag literally didn't happen. Hashtag you're embarrassing yourself." And then she followed up with one final tweet stating, "I would really love to know who these sources always are because the stuff they come up with is quite ridiculous and sounds like just someone starving for attention." Let's go and actually analyze the actual footage. So just for the sake of transparency, I went ahead and we can look at the opening segment when the New Day came in. So we have Biggie and we have, you know, the full audience behind them. We can see the corners. Looks like a packed house, and they said it was sold out. So let's fast forward to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time when the Alexa Bliss Charlotte segment was. So I amped up shadows and the exposure on this. But if we look in the background, I mean, it looks like pretty much packed house. I noticed a few empty seats, but nothing to the degree that he's stating. And if we look at the footage, I mean, we can still see, I said it looks fairly packed. And here's a decent angle right here of just, you know, the amount of people you can see in the background. So if we fast forward to the Intercontinental Contender match with Sheamus and Jeff Hardy, if we look here at this angle, again, looks like pretty much packed house. Look here, pretty much packed house. Look here, pretty much packed house. And look here, pretty much packed house. But now what's really interesting, though, is if we look at the Roman Reigns Bob Lashley segment, especially when Lashley comes in and does his entrance here, this is what's really telling to me, is whenever the camera is doing this pan here, we can notice that there's some empty seats over here in the side section. There's, you know, a big section empty seats actually right there. Another section empty seats over here in this other side section. Decent section of empty seats right behind him. So it almost makes you wonder, were the people leaving during the Intercontinental Championship match? Because as I said, like looking here, that's a pretty good swath of emptiness right there. So is it people are like, yeah, I don't care about seeing Lashley. I don't care about seeing Roman Reigns. We already saw Roman Reigns. We saw him at the beginning. We saw him fight at the beginning. So what do we need to see him again? What's the point? I just want to look at this kind of a little bit more specifically at the actual audience, the visuals, and that kind of thing. Because, I mean, let's break down the math here for a second. So if Meltzer's report is correct, he said 1,500 people left, and the arena was sold at 8,000 people. So 1,500 people at 8,000 people. That tells you that 19 out of every 100 people left. I mean, nearly 20%, nearly 20% of the entire audience would have had to go home during that segment. What's interesting is if you look during their back and forth, and if you look in the background, I mean, you can't really see any movement whatsoever. You would think that if 20% of the audience is leaving, especially in this section here, you would have seen like a mass exodus, you know. But we're not seeing a mass exodus. We're seeing people attentively sitting and hanging on every word. It's just really weird. But all that to say, I just wanted to kind of look at the video footage and look at what was going on with the actual episode, because 1,500 people is a crap ton of people when we're talking about 8,000. As I said, that's nearly 20% of the entire audience would have had to go home. That would be an exodus of massive proportions, biblical proportions, if you're watching on TV. I mean, you would literally see large swaths of people leaving as you're watching this segment on television, but that just wasn't happening. I just want to make this quick video and put this out there into the internet, that although Meltzer sometimes makes reports that you know, say a certain narrative, doesn't mean that they're necessarily accurate. And I believe wholeheartedly that somebody told him 1,500 people left. I don't think that he would just come out and just absolutely make up just an outlandish figure, but it's just when you're actually looking at the audience, the video from the episode paints an entirely different picture. And so you can't necessarily take that number credible after looking at it during that specific segment. So I guess that's all. I just wanted to touch base on that and share my perspective. So thanks for watching and peace out.